morning after a FedEx driver was robbed. Hi, everyone. I'm Tara Joyce.
And I'm Lisa Salvadori. It happened in Dobbs Ferry, and that's where we find News 12's Lisa LaRocca live this morning with an update. Lisa.
Yeah, and pretty brazen, too, right in the middle of the afternoon. Police are saying it was right over here on Hillside Road, really tight, kind of windy road there. Just before 3 o'clock, a FedEx driver delivering a package, and according to investigators.
All right, just before 3 p.m., so broad daylight, no matter if it's daylight savings time or whatever, it doesn't really matter. But broad daylight, right before 3. Okay, so make sure we get that context. All right, so let's keep going.
There's a man described as Hispanic claimed the package belonged to him. Well, after a confrontation, police say the man.
So he claimed the package on the side of the road. Like, hey, that's my package. I want my package. Give me my package. All right. And it's crazy.
Pushed the driver down to the ground and he grabbed the package. A black Honda Civic then pulled up. The suspect jumped in and he grabbed the package. A black Honda Civic then pulled up. The suspect jumped in and the car was last seen heading south towards Hastings on Hudson. Now, police are saying they believe this was an isolated, targeted incident, so there's no threat to the public, but they are asking folks in the area to check their home surveillance system. So if you have Ring cameras, that kind of thing, check it out and see if you may have captured an image of this happening or the car or anything like that. And police say if you do, reach out to them and could help them out in their investigation.
All right, so definitely a targeted attack, because how I know it was targeted, well, there's a few clues to tell me that it was targeted. So the suspect pushes down the driver and ran off with the package. Now, if you were a male, 25, to 55 years old, in fairly good shape, which, that's most people, right? Most drivers, you're probably not going to just get pushed down by some random guy, right? Not unless he's like super cock strong, got like 12-inch biceps or 14-inch biceps. I don't know what they're running these days, but unless you some bodybuilder, you just going around pushing people down. Like the average driver is not going to just get pushed down like that. So they didn't have too much details, but it sounds as if the driver might have been an older guy. And, so I think it was targeted. I think that they watched this guy over time and said, hey, look, he's a little older guy. He might be a little frail. He might not have his balance all the way. So we can overpower him physically with one person. And we'll catch him on the side of the road and demand my package that's not even mine. And we'll push him down. And once he lands or once he falls down, he's going to be trying to get up. He's not going to be able to get up. And he'll be kicking, trying to get up. And he's not going to be able to get up because, he's an older guy. So, yeah, I think it definitely was targeted. And they knew exactly who they was going for. They knew exactly what they was going to try to do. And it was planned out in broad daylight. And so that's unfortunate. Now, it's not fair to the driver. You just minding your business, trying to make an honest day work for an honest day pay, trying to get it popping, provide for your family. You might retire soon. Who knows? But you just minding your business, doing your job, and a fool accompanied by a getaway driver runs up on you and takes a package that is not theirs and physically overpowers you and throws you to the ground, and that's just the end of it. That's unfortunate. But, this is the world we live in. We out here looking like food to some people. Some of us, and, we're vulnerable out in these streets because, if somebody follows me when I'm working and let's just say like, oh yeah, we gonna want to target him. You probably gonna have to bring more than one person. Nah, if you only have one person, I'm not saying I'm gonna fight you because I don't fight, but you better bring some extra weapons or something like that. Cause I'm not gonna just, I got a big head, but it's not that big to where I'm gonna just fall over. So I'm not gonna just, you push me, I'm not gonna just, fall in the ditch. I'm not gonna do that. And so you might want to bring some extra people because it's not gonna be that easy. But we are vulnerable out there, and then people size you up, they mitigate the risk, and they take a chance. And so that's what happened here. I'm glad the guy did not get hurt, and live to see another day. Now, if he's in fact close to retirement, he might think about retiring a little sooner, because even though I didn't hear if a weapon was involved, but a situation like that, you get scared and you think the worst, right? And so that person might consider retiring now. Even if they were like a year or two from retirement, they might consider it now. And that's sad, but stuff like that happens and it sucks. But it's not fair to the driver. It's mind their business, trying to make an honest living, and crap happens like that. It's not fair. All right. Okay. I saw the light. Yeah, the driver might have saw that. I'll say it's a 50-50 chance that driver in that first video, I want to say it's 50-50 that they saw it. I might be wrong, but I'm going to go with 50-50, Not realizing his helper will steal it. Man, look, man. And a lot of times these drivers get these helpers and they have one on Monday. Okay. All right, let's scratch that. One on Tuesday. Then if it doesn't work out or the helper doesn't show up on Wednesday, a different one on Wednesday. And maybe they might have that one for like Wednesday and Thursday, and they get sick on Friday, which, everybody gets sick on Friday. They get sick on Friday, so they have a different one. So between Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, they might have 3 helpers. And so you get to know people, it's going good, and then boom, you have somebody new. And so, it happens. It happens a lot. A lot of musical chairs, a lot of moving around. And if people don't have good chemistry, I know drivers that in a minute, hey, they get you out like, hey, it's not working out. Hey, this person got they got a body odor, or hey, they stay on their phones, or they didn't have the right shoes on, or they kept playing video games on their phone. Like, we couldn't work, we couldn't get in a good rhythm. They in the way, so it's like, be swapping people out, man. And then when people are starting to not show up to work, like you get a good one and then they don't show up to work, it's frustrating. So, a lot of people moving around in and out. It's like you get somebody good, you got to hold on to them. And then you try to get to know somebody and then they take them away. So it's like, it sucks. But it's a bad situation. It's a bad situation.